Everyone's always posting their wins. Everyone thinks it's this perfect life. When in reality, life's not perfect. You're going to have struggles. You're going to have hardships. And we need to normalize these things because social media creates this perfect illusion that everyone has it easy, when in reality, they don't.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Stack and Strength. I'm your host, John, and my guest today is Jarvis Moran, an old friend, veteran in the fitness industry, a coach who's built his reputation the hard way through years of consistent work. He's also the founder of Lifted Nutrition, a brand that has been built on trust and not shortcuts. This is one of the first of the series of the Proof of Work episodes that we're going to have, and I'm honored to have Jarvis on the show here today. He's someone who truly understands proof of work, and his credentials and his work has shown that his success did not come overnight, and that's exactly why this conversation matters. Jarvis, if you could give a quick intro about yourself, that would be awesome.
Well, first, I want to thank you for having me on the Stack and Strength podcast. It's a pleasure. But yes, so for the guys that don't know me, my name is Jarvis Moran, founder of Lifted Nutrition and been a bodybuilding coach for almost 9 years now. Competed myself multiple times in the men's physique category, won my pro card in WFF, and then competed last year in the IFBB, where I won the Adelaide show for novice and true novice, came second in the overalls. And yeah, now my main focus right now is to build both the brands, which is tricky, trying to build two businesses at once and trying to prioritize my fitness, but it's my passion, and for me, it's something I absolutely enjoy.
Just to keep it in very general and a very non-technical level for all the listeners, and this is both obviously in the Bitcoin space and the fitness space. And these could be beginners or experienced like yourself. On a very general note, Jarvis, if someone walked into your gym tomorrow or wherever you are training and they want results without doing the hard work or without doing much work, right? What would you tell them?
So, like, nothing good comes easy, and nothing, if it comes easy, it's probably not going to last long. So if you want the results, you have to be willing to put in the work. Unless you're genetically elite, which the 1%ers, you might have that dream physique naturally, and hats off to those people who do. But for the majority of us, we have to work hard, whether it's business, whether it's fitness, whatever it might be. If you want the results, you have to be willing to put in. And that's what sets people apart from successful and unsuccessful. How bad do you want it? How much are you willing to put in to be successful? So yeah, it's impossible. If you want success, you have to be willing to put in the work. Sacrifices have to be made.
That is a very valid point, right? Like there's nothing in life that comes that easy, right? If you have a certain physique that you're dreaming of to achieve, right? If you go to someone, a coach or a trainer, and show them, oh, this is what I want to achieve, and you may have a different time frame, and obviously your trainer or coach, if they are knowledgeable, they would know actually how much it will, after doing the assessment, they will know how much actually would be a more realistic approach to it, right? But you will have to put in the work. There is no magic pill, there's no shortcut. And the same goes in investing as well. You have to put your time, you have to do your research. You cannot believe blindly what people tell you online. Read books, listen to podcasts, listen to people who actually been there doing that. That's the only way to go, right? There is no real shortcuts, right? Jarvis, what's the biggest misconception people have about fitness results?
People are always looking for the quick fix. They're always looking for the quick fix. There's single transformations online, 10 weeks, 8 weeks, you can achieve this, and then that's this amount of time. Which, look, in theory, you can get some pretty decent results pretty quick, but look for sustainable long-term results. Build the daily habits which build a foundation to then drive progression. Look, if you're after a quick fix, what happens once you get that quick fix? You get that, you go into a fat loss phase, you lose 10 kilos. What happens then? You haven't built the foundation or the capabilities to maintain that physique. You just go back to square one straight away. So stop looking for a quick fix and be willing to, drawing back to your previous question, be willing to put in the work to get your dream body or your physique. Because yes, it does take time. And for the majority of us who don't have elite genetics, there's no shortcuts. So for example, my answer would be there's no quick fix. Stop looking for that quick fix or magic supplement or magic pill, which you think is going to give you your dream physique, because it's not. Long-term consistent habits compounded over time is what facilitates success. And that goes for all aspects in life, not just fitness, business. I'm sure you're investing. It goes across all aspects of life.
Absolutely, absolutely spot on, bro. It goes across everywhere, like fitness, investing, business, relationships. You have
Even
to put
business.
in the work.
I was always looking, so I've always wanted to start my own business. Okay, I've always wanted to start my own business. And I was always waiting for the magic idea or the right time, the right idea. For about 4 years, I was waiting for something to pop up. You know what? Eventually, I said to myself, Johnson, nothing's going to pop up. I've got to go out there and search. I've got to go out there and find what I want to do. There's no magic venture that's going to come to me because I knew realistically when I was young, I always wanted to be in business. My dad was great at business. My mum said, you're always like your dad. For me, it was always a business. And I just kept waiting and waiting and waiting. I said, well, what's this idea? And nothing was coming to me until I actually went out there and tried things. I actually went to buy a gym. The loan failed. I went to open up an acai shop. Last minute, something didn't feel right. I pulled back. You have to go out there and physically put in the work and find what that is.
Wow. And just going back to that, what Jarvis just said, right? Stop looking for the quick fix. As he said, there's no shortcuts. There is no get big scheme, get rich quick scheme. You have to live with delayed gratification. Do not look for instant results, right? Discipline versus motivation. So your results will become proof when you put in the work. What he just mentioned, what Jarvis just mentioned, is that he knew in his head that this is what he wants to do. But did that mean that he did not fail? He obviously had struggles. He stumbled. He had obstacles coming in the way. There was no quitting. He kept going. And then eventually there was a point where he got the foothold. And today he is where he is. So all those people who are in the space, they know Jarvis. He has really done well with his brand and still building. Obviously, you don't stop. You continue. You continue the work. It's not that, all right, I got it now, I'm off. No, he's still doing the good work, helping people out. So yes, absolutely no quick fixes, right? Now, obviously, what you're describing or what we just discussed is sounds like a system that rewards real effort, right? Would you say fitness and training has its own version of proof, or can anyone fake results on a long-term basis?
Can anyone fake results on a long-term basis? No. Not on a long-term basis. There's no way. No, you have to go through the hardships. Even in business still today, like, it might look like I'm doing well and this and that. I go through daily problems, weekly problems. I've got massive problems on my back, which people don't see. They only see the, the posting on social media, deliveries here, there. No one sees what I'm going through. You can't fake long-term success. There's no way. You might be able to do it for a short amount of time, but eventually it has to unfold at some stage. But they say, hey, fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, guys, and do not apply that in all aspects of your life. Probably won't work. Do not fake things in your relationship, please. And we did not give any sort of advice here like that. So no, jokes apart, yeah, absolutely. There's no chance. You cannot do that. It is not sustainable. You wouldn't stay on that track long term. The work speaks for itself. So no, I agree with you, Jarvis, there, absolutely. When you mention like that, right, about the struggles and all the hardships, what did during your training or prepping days or championship days, what did people not see behind your championships, right?
Or working for so back then when I was competing at the start, I was an electrician, working 10, 12 hours a day, and I was an apprentice. I was getting all the shit jobs. I was in a roof for 12 hours a day. I remember being 3 weeks out and we had this job. We had to do some wiring, and I was in a roof 12 hours a day for that whole week. Yeah, I'm 3 weeks out. I'm eating nothing. My body fat's minimal. I was on the verge of, in Australia, how hot it is, how hot it gets in our summers. I was sweating bullets on the verge of passing out. But in my head, it's all or nothing. Yeah, that's the approach we had. It's all or nothing. You just push through, push through, push through. I looked like asking my boss, bro, I need to come and grab a drink of water. He's like, no, we're almost done, we're almost done. And I remember I dazed out for a minute. I was like, whoa. I was like, shit. But no one sees the struggles that, preppers go through or when you're in company. No one sees the like behind closed doors what you're going through. It might be relationship, family, this and that. And that's the problem with social media. Everyone's always posting their wins. Everyone thinks it's this perfect life. It's when in reality, life's not perfect. You're going to have struggles. You're going to have hardships, and that's normal. We need to normalize these things because social media creates this perfect illusion that everyone has it easy, when in reality, they don't. I can tell you right now, they don't. So, yeah, you need to endure the hardships because you're going to have them regardless.
Wow.
And
And I
I think
agree.
a lot of us seek for comfort. We're always looking to be comfortable. Whether it's in our diet, we're looking for foods that are, we're always looking for like the quick fix as well. We're always looking for things to be comfortable. When things get hard, we run. My coach always told me, when adversity comes, don't run from it, lean into it. Because we know personal growth only comes from being uncomfortable and pushing yourself to barriers where you're not used to being. And even in your physique, if you want to be uncomfortable and get up on stage, you're pushing your body to places it's never been before in regards to body fat percentage, trying to drive performance. You know, personal growth and physical growth comes from pushing yourself into uncomfortable territories. We don't grow from being comfortable. Do you know what I mean? It's like training. If we're not training hard, we're not growing. We're only growing in those last 2 or 3 reps where we're going through severe amounts of pain to be uncomfortable.
100%. Spot on, brother.
I'll have to even remind
Go-
myself like this. When things start to get like really hard, I'm almost trying to run from all business, and it's like, hey, no, face it, lean into it. Just this is how you're supposed. This is what's required.
And that is the difference, right? And that is the warrior mindset. That is what differentiates you from the person who did not do that or ran away from it. He or she said, "Oh, no, 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 I'm going to do it tomorrow." Or "I'm going to eat tomorrow." Or okay, it's just one day. It's just 1 week. And that's it. Right. And this is what I really don't understand about all this New Year resolution and stuff like that, right? I get it. I get it. It's an excuse for people to go and do a reset kind of stuff. But I personally believe that if you're someone who actually really wanted to do something about yourself, you don't have to wait for an arbitrary date for yourself to go and fix yourself. You were never serious in the first place. And I get it. Some people are going through really hard times in life, and this is right. Okay, let's put a stop, and this is what we're going to do. Get it. But as we spoke about, is it sustainable? Do not put unrealistic expectations on yourself, right? All of a sudden, do not go from 0 to 100, because that you won't sustain a week or two, and that's why many people leave the gym or the fitness area after a few weeks, right? Oh, that's not sustainable. They are thinking too much, because what they did 30, 35, 40 years of their life, all of a sudden they think 1 day or 1 week or 1 month is going to change that. But you got to take those baby steps and push through the hard times, right? What Jarvis just mentioned, guys, those who don't understand, if anybody will listen and you're from not really into fitness or bodybuilding as such, that is extremely harsh. Like if he's prepping and he is going through 10 to 12 hours of shift work, and he's unable to meet his dietary requirements, and he's stressed out, he still has to come and do the exercise. That is really hard. And doing after that, he won the show. So that shows how much work he would have put in, and that's where the proof of work comes in. Amazing, man. That's really amazing. And absolutely nobody, not I can't say nobody, but majority of people do not. Nobody shows the sacrifices. Nobody talks about that. Nobody shows the hardships behind the scenes, because nobody wants to listen to that. Everybody just wants to look at the good things and say, "Oh, yep, that's exactly what I want to do." But nobody goes through the actual journey what that athlete went through, right? And that's what he just mentioned. The long-term mindset. This is where I was about to touch into the long-term mindset. So in coaching, Bros, but you are obviously been a coach for such a long time. How do people know who to trust? There's so many coaches and gurus in the space right now, right? It's so many. You search, and then everybody's an online coach, and everybody has everybody's a PD guru these days too. So like, how do people know who to trust?
Well, firstly, look at a coach who practices what they preach. Firstly, if a coach doesn't practice what they preach, they don't have authority to be telling other people what to do, because you're false, you're fake. If you can't do what's required, how are you telling other people what to do when you can't do it yourself? Secondly, look at their level of knowledge and the content they put out, and look at their clientele progression. Are their clients progressing? Is that coach driving results? Because if he is, he's doing something right. It's very hard to have every single client be a genetically elite athlete. Do you know what I mean? So the best thing to look at is the percentage of clients. How much are they progressing? How much are they progressing? Sorry. And look at the content he puts out. Is it knowledgeable? He or she, is it knowledgeable? Is it relatable? No, these are things that people need to look at when they're looking. And is it someone you look up to? Because I personally don't take advice from someone I don't look up to. You know, so is it someone you look up to and respect? And do their quality and traits align with your values? That's a big thing as well.
Reputation. So the reputation is, and I would like to say reputation is so much more important than marketing here, right?
100%.
There might be someone who's able to market and they sell, and there are people who sell, they sell very well when they market themselves like that, may not be the best providers of what exactly you were looking for. So they may sell you your stuff, but you probably that's not what you were looking for, right? So this is why reputation matters more than marketing, right? Yep, if this combined together, then that's a banger. But yeah, credentials, time and effort, filtering out the noise. Can that trust be earned quickly as such? Or when we talk about people who have done, who walk in the talk, that's enough for someone to reach out. At least it helps me to, or me per se, like me as a person to reach out to you, someone like you, because I know, okay, he's been there, he's done that, he will probably understand what I'm talking about, right? So I think that trust factor is there. And then
Yeah,
later, I think it's a relationship what builds on, right?
definitely. If someone's been through it themselves, it's gonna be easy for them to navigate a client through that situation or scenario, as opposed to someone who hasn't been in combat, for example. Let's just say someone who was looking to compete. If someone's already competed and you're in the midst of comp prep, you're going to go through some serious struggles. Someone that's already been there and done it's going to navigate the client through it a lot easier than opposed to someone who hasn't. So 100%, I'm very big on that. That's why I said as well, a coach who practices what they preach, because if they're doing the work and necessarily required to drive progression, they have the ability and the credentials to navigate someone else through that same path because they're doing the work themselves.
That is absolutely spot on. Shifting gears, yeah. What's your impression of Bitcoin?
Bitcoin. So to be honest, I mean, I don't really know much about it. I've tried to invest in it in the past. And one of my general rules of thumb for business is stick to what you know. Now, for me, I don't know the ins and outs of Bitcoin. Is it something I'm going to potentially invest in? Maybe in the future, if I have a bit of time, if I can learn about it, I can see the growth there. I can see people, people are making millions off it. The proof is there. I don't know enough about it right now to actually invest in it. Maybe in the future, 100%, I'm very open to it. I can see obviously a lot of successful people coming out, a lot of wealth being generated through it as well. But at this point in time, my knowledge isn't great enough for me to want to invest to it, because I always say stick to something you know. And for me personally as well, John, another thing I like to do is I like to be in control of my money to an extent. Whereas in Bitcoin, you are, but you're not. Anything can happen overnight,
I
you
would
know?
like to correct you there, bro. That is okay. So that's a common misconception, though, bro. So okay, I get where you're coming from, and this is one of the biggest misconceptions which is there across sectors. So I think why? Because people confuse Bitcoin with crypto, right? Bitcoin is not crypto, right? Crypto, yes, what you said, that is absolutely spot on. Yes, you have no control on it, and you may wake up tomorrow and it's all gone. And that's happened to many. I've been there. Our first buys was Bitcoin, and then I got distracted by the shiny new objects in crypto, like a little kid in a candy store. And I did make a lot of money back then, but then I also lost a fair few in a lot of scams. And that was only because of the mindset of how someone would do in fitness. Like, I want to build my ab six pack in 2 months, and that's it. I'm set for life, right? You know what I mean? I wanted instant gratification. I never thought beyond it. And this is where But what never went down for me, what I had full control of, what went up in value for me over these years was my stack in Bitcoin. And then from a period of time, I've been only accumulating myself and my family, a lot of my friends. We've just been accumulating, steady accumulation. Bitcoin is, so just to make that difference, bro, Bitcoin is money. It's a new form of money. It's actually the best savings technology that is known to man. Bitcoin is actually the only asset that you have more control than the dollars in your bank account. It's governed by code and not institutions, right? It's decentralized. That what that means is there's no central entity, there's no CEO, there's no government, there's no corporation who's actually has control over it. It has a fixed supply of 21 million forever. There will only be 21 million bitcoins ever that's going to be mined, right? It's on a transparent blockchain as compared to the traditional finance, what we know about the banks. It's centralized. The banks control your money. It's inflationary, which is that your $100, which was in 2015, you don't have the same purchasing power in 2025, right? Since childhood, we've been taught that, okay, inflation it's just very normal. It just happens. Things just get expensive over time. No, it's not. So there is a book called The Price of Tomorrow. The author's name is Jeff Booth. He mentioned in his books stating that the true nature of the free market is deflation. What that means is like pretty much right. We are evolving in times, bro. I remember when internet came and when you probably would have been like really little then, but slightly older. So when internet came and email came in, right, it was people said that internet's going to be a fad. There were people who actually said that nobody's going to use email. We're going to send letters. Bro, who send letters today, right? Nobody sends letters, right? Everybody uses the internet. The internet runs everything, right? There were people who actually said, oh, cars won't run. Automobiles are a fad. I'll just go and buy the new horse, like the better, faster horse. And this is what happens. The technological shift happens, right? It takes time for something to be conceptualized by humanity on a larger scale, right? Till then, there'll be a lot of ifs and buts for an asset that's surpassed over 2 point something trillion today in a span of 17 years. It's never happened in the history of humanity ever. So it's at 2 point some 3, I think, trillion right now, right? The market cap of Bitcoin. So yeah, and again, I was just coming back. I'm not trying to, obviously, Bitcoin is way bigger than us. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I'm just trying to make you understand.
I think you're open. It still sounds very open to it. Maybe a little bit more, definitely.
Yeah, and I think there's also a unit bias that comes for people. And the unit bias is that today, I think it's at around just under 93,000 US dollar per Bitcoin. So people naturally say, I don't have that kind of money to buy a Bitcoin. Yeah, you don't. You don't need to. Like, you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin, but you can buy fractions of a Bitcoin. They call Satoshis, right? Satoshis are fractions of a Bitcoin that you can buy. Just like you can buy for $50, you can buy for $10, you can buy for 500, doesn't matter. The most important thing that you have to do, though, is once you buy it, you move it to your personal cold wallet. You do not leave it on the exchange. I think I spoke to like at least 15 people, bro, last 1 week, and everybody has on the exchange, right? I'm like, no, you don't own your Bitcoin if you leave them on the exchange. The exchange owns them. Tomorrow, if for some reason the exchange shuts down, they take your Bitcoin with you, right? So the Bitcoin always lives on the blockchain, but you need to take the private keys to your personal wallet. It's like me giving a random person on the street my bank account password. Username and password. What should happen with it? Obviously, the thing that everybody knows, right? If I give someone else my password, that's exactly what it is, leaving on an exchange. So that's one thing I say, bro. So yeah, just to get back to the point that is the only money that you probably will have control than the dollars. So, and obviously, I'm happy to have a chat with you anytime later whenever you wanted more information on it. This is what I've been trying to help people with, and it's not about making millions. Yes, you will make millions, but in a longer time frame. You will not make it like today. You buy any bit of it and don't expect it to 100x overnight. Nah. It's more like your long-term mindsets, and that is where people lose money, because they'll go all to the fancy cryptos. Oh, yep, this is the next 100x meme. This is the next play. This is the next banger, and they lose it all.
With investing, but back to you trying to say, literally, there's no quick fix. And if there is, it's a great risk, a very great risk.
It is risky, and it's most likely turn out to be a scam. Especially in this space, in the digital asset space, in the crypto space, if there's someone who's telling you that you're going to make quick bucks out of it, most likely it is a scam. I do not talk about any other crypto, bro, only Bitcoin, because it's proven itself time and again. There's no one cheating the code. It's just simple math. It's just economics, man. The supply when less is will be drying out, and there'll be so much demand that people won't be able to sustain it. So what's going to happen if I need something, if I'm a multi-billionaire and I need that asset, and you are the person who has it, and Jarvis wants to sell it, I will pay you whatever Jarvis is asking me at that point of time because I want it, right? And that's exactly what's going to happen, because nation states and countries and corporations, everybody will want a piece of an asset that cannot be reproduced, that cannot be corrupted, that cannot be produced out of thin air. So it cannot be controlled by United States or Canada, Australia. No country can control it. There's no one behind it. It's people running it, right? Like the software, those who are running the nodes across the world. So for Bitcoin to shut down, internet needs to be shut down. It's as simple as that. We know that's probably like World War III. Then no point of internet if that happens anyway. I was creating some analogy in my head, right? And the proof of work with Bitcoin, right? It's the system where you don't get rewarded unless you do real work, right? So the analogies was miners. So the process of mining in Bitcoin, which is like, solving computational puzzles to get the block and rewarded and so forth. Miners are equal to the lifters. The energy that is consumed to create a Bitcoin, that's the effort put by lifters at the gym. The blocks that are created in the blockchain, those are the training sessions, and the blockchain is your training log. I was just trying to put the analogies, and I was like, yeah, this seems very, very interesting. What happens in fitness when things get too easy?
When results come easy, you start to take it for granted. Prime example is, and I've seen this across the board religiously, top tier athletes who drive or who get progression very easily, they take things for granted. Their level of effort isn't as high as someone who has to work harder for it, because they know I can get away with this, or they start to take shortcuts. But true effort will always be revealed eventually, and the person who works the hardest will always be rewarded the best, I think, in my opinion as well. And it comes down to bodybuilding. No matter how elite or genetically elite you are, there's always someone that's working harder than you, and that will show on stage. I've seen genetically elite athletes get absolutely trumped by an average genetically gifted person just by pure work ethic. And that shows. It shows 100%. Things get taken for
Agreed.
granted when it comes. Yeah.
Great.
It's like
And yeah, go for it.
when you've come from a wealthy family, you take things for granted. Or if you've been born into wealth, you find those kind of kids don't work as hard as the ones who came from nothing. Very similar concept.
The wolf at the bottom of the hill is more hungry than the one at the top, kind of aspect, right? Yeah, kind of making the parallel. Easy money, easy money, easy money. People don't, chasing easy money, and that's the angle, right? Like chasing fast rewards. Now, people say Bitcoin wastes energy, right? Because Bitcoin consumes consumes electricity. Do you think training wastes energy? Like training as such wastes energy? It's a waste of energy.
No, it's not. It consumes it, but it's being facilitated into something. It's definitely consuming, but it's not wasting. You're bettering yourself. You're there to get healthier. You're there to drive progression. It's definitely not a waste of energy. No way.
Do you think is the effort that is put in training, is that effort only valuable if it's comfortable?
If we're doing things incorrectly, you can say, yes, you're wasting effort. For example, if you're going into a working set, you're doing the exercise incorrectly, you're not driving stimulus, you're driving fatigue. Yes, you're wasting energy, 100%.
Right. So I would like to say that, and would you agree with it if I say energy that is used to build something incorruptible is not waste?
No, it's not waste. Incorruptible, no, it's not. Well, no, that's going towards something.
That's
100%.
and that's what is, guys, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're working hard towards achieving whatever your dream, seek your health and fitness journey, the energy that you're spending, obviously the energy that you'll spend to get there, but it's building something invaluable for you, right? It's incorruptible, and that is not waste. Similarly, Bitcoin, when you say waste energy, no, it's actually creating digital scarcities. That is the angle. So it's not a waste of energy. It consumes renewable energy and turns it into something that cannot be produced again. So yeah, that was a point that came to
Yeah,
me. And
that
these
makes sense.
these are the what do you say, the similarities which I find on these things. That's why I created this channel, because these are two things that I love doing. One is training, obviously, you know that, training, and stacking sats. Sats is the fraction of a Bitcoin, so stacking sats and building strength. So that's why the channel was called Stack and Strength.
Yeah, I liked it. That name finally makes sense to me. Wondering why Steak and Strength. That makes sense.
Yeah, thanks, man. Job, if money worked like fitness, like how fitness works, if money like worked like fitness, do you think the society would be healthier?
If money worked like fitness, do you think society would be happy? No, it's a very hard question because there's two angles. Well, health comes from your well-being, and you can't buy health. You can't just go out there and buy a new heart. You can't just go out there and buy a new this. You have to be willing to put in the work for health. But with money, same thing. You can't just go out there and generate a Bitcoin. You have to invest. Well, you have to. There's that level of effort still being reciprocal that needs to be devoted. So would you say it would be healthier? Potentially not.
Yep. So my take on that is, I would say yes, it is. And I'll explain why. So obviously, with fitness, it would be healthier. Definitely yes. If money was like that, if money was something where it progresses over time rather than losing value over time, which is obviously contrary to what happens across all currencies. Every currency deflates every year, right? We lose around 7 to 8% of purchasing power every year. The Australian dollar goes down by 7 to 8% every year. Normal people's wage increases by 3%, 2 to 3%. They make them happy by giving an increase, but that does not help them buy those groceries because the groceries keep on increasing. People live from paycheck to paycheck. People live on debt, on credit cards. When your money is appreciating over time, when you have money that can't be corrupted and that appreciates over time, increases its value over time, what you get back is time. So the time that you can get back is what you can spend with your family, with your loved ones, for fitness, for things that you want to do and provide value to society. So
Mm.
eventually turn out to be healthier on the longer run. Why do people struggle, man? People are struggling these days. And just about every youth see back in the days where we are, if you look at your parents' generation, my parents' generation, one person could be working, the other person could be at home, and still they can have a mortgage. They can have a mortgage, they can pay the mortgage, and they'll have multiple kids, and they were going really fine. But now you can have two income earners, normal, and no, let's not talk about business people. Let's talk about normal income earners, regular job going people, and still they are struggling to pay the bills. They're struggling to put food on the table because the salaries are not meeting the inflated prices that the groceries, at the supermarkets, that the fuel and everything is, that they're getting outside. Because why? The dollar is losing its value, and this is where people think, in general, people think that it's normal, but it's actually not normal. Yeah, so that's why I meant, like, yep, if money worked like that, society would definitely be better because we'll be able to buy back our time.
And time is one of your most valuable assets.
Yes, the most.
The-
I don't think there's anyone. And as I'm progressing in life, in age, I'm about to be, in the next 2 months, I'll be 40 years old. Right. You just think about those things, going back 10 years or 15, you think, oh man, time is actually the most valuable thing that you have. So you need to make most use of it. What is the point if I have, let's say, like $500 million today, but I'll have a day to live? I've been told I have a day to live, right? What is that money of any value, right? There is no time for me to be with my family, to enjoy that money. There's nothing. That's useless, that's worthless for me. So there, time is of essence. For someone new to fitness, what's the lesson?
It's the lesson.
Yeah, like I would want that lesson, or what you want to say, from the Jarvis today when compared to the Jarvis, let's say, 15 years back.
Lesson would be, especially if it's coming into health and fitness, is to do things the right way in regards to health and build consistent daily habits which drive progression long term. So when I was younger, I was always looking for a quick fix, and I was always I wouldn't say doing things in an unhealthy manner because I was always guided by a good coach. But we'd push
We
the
all young
boundaries a
man.
little bit.
We all do stuff that we're not meant to do. I understand.
Yeah, push the boundaries a little bit with certain things, and like you said,
Yeah.
health as well. You
Yep.
know, so I do things I'd say in a healthy manner because at the end of the day, health is wealth. Learn to build good habits that you can implement long term to build the foundations to then build the physique you want. Because there's no quick fix. There's no quick fix. That's probably the two things I tell my younger self is be patient, put in the work, and do things the healthiest way possible.
Value. That's value. And for
Yeah.
someone experienced, what should they protect?
Protect as in what way? Mentally, physically?
I can take both.
Mentally, I'd probably say mentally would be like to don't compare yourself to others because that can definitely ruin you as very, very fast. When you're looking at someone else's progression in comparison to your progression and you're looking at, where they're going and we're all running our own race. Be content with who you are. And as long as you're giving it 110%, that's all that matters.
That is spot on. Unfortunately, we live in a society. We live in times where when I say we, I'm just not talking about you and I, but in general, we tend to compare with others, right? And that's what is thriving on social media a lot, right? And that's very unhealthy. All of us just need to remember this, right? There is no one in the world like better than you at being you. There is not a single person who can be better than than Jarvis himself, or in being John than John himself, right? So what I need to do is my competition would be myself. I should strive to improve on where I am lacking mental game, and that's what causes a lot of friction in it. You take it to your in your personal life, you take it to work, in your relationship, and just your general life. So you bring in anxiety, depression, then you get on pills.
Well,
We don't need all that.
comparison's a thief of joy.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Physical aspect, I would just say consistency over shortcuts is what I really believe. It does not, and as we discussed, we don't have to compare, but we just need to be consistent in doing what you do. Keep on doing that, right? The results will automatically come if you're looking for that, but you will enjoy the process, and over time it will become a habit. You just change the habit. It becomes a lifestyle, and then it's not like you won't be that guy who'll be like, oh, I gotta go to gym today.
Yeah.
Ah, I have to train legs. No. It'd probably be like, yeah, man, I'm gonna smash the legs today. It's the other way around, and that's probably what that mindset shifts: consistency over shortcuts and a long term mindset, right? And this is what I want to add to someone who is new to Bitcoin or who wants to learn about it. The only one thing you need to understand is that getting off zero is the key. Get off zero. It does not matter whether you have 10, 20, 50, 100,000, 2,000, 100,000. The amount does not matter. Get off zero. You'll only be able to win the race if you're in the race, right? And obviously, the more amount you have over a longer time frame, that will reap you more benefits. I cannot give any advice to anyone on what anyone should invest, but that's on their own appetite. But what I personally tell to friends and family is if you could spare two coffees in a day, that is a good start. If you could spare the money for two coffees in a day, that should be roughly around $10, maybe. I don't know. I don't drink coffee, but it should be around that, is what I assume. That's a good start. So 7 to 10 or five, like I don't know, a coffee or two. That way, what you do is you take the emotion out, right? And these days there are apps. All you need to do is like automatic. It just automatic. It buys for you for $5 a day. Over time, it compounds. So it's 150 a month, but over the year, it will be like 15 to 1800, and over 10 years, it's 80,000. The difference is, over 5 to 10 years, the value has substantially increased because of the scarcity. It's not like dollar; it's not going down, and that is where you have your foot in the door, right? That's what I would really suggest to educate yourself, read, listen to podcasts, read books, get as much information as possible. I personally, if anyone's a reader, and they're listening to this show, the big print. I don't know if you're able to see there, bro. There's an orange book on top. It's called The Big
Right.
Print, by Lawrence Lepore. It's an excellent book, bro. Similarly, The Price of Tomorrow by Jeff Booth, Bitcoin Evangelism by Brian DeMint, and obviously The Holy Grail Bitcoin Standard by Seyfuddin Ammous. It's a bit technical, but there's many. Someone's a listener, they have these books on Audible as well. So you got to do the work, and yes, only then you will. But you need to have a long term mindset. That is the only thing. Job. Before we wrap up, I just a couple of questions. One is, we know that we've come to the conclusion that proof of work has built your physique, your reputation, and your business, which you're obviously building your brand even higher. Why do you think money should be any different? I just want like your take on it, right? So proof of work, what we put in every day, month, year after year for our physiques, reputation and business. Why should money be any different?
Well, it
What I
shouldn't.
mean, what I mean to say is, like, how money is going down the rabbit hole every year. Your $1,000 won't be the $1,000 next year. Yeah.
Well, it shouldn't. Yeah. You're investing in your health. You're investing into your freedom. There's a direct correlation there, 100%. So for us fitness gurus who are investing their time into our health in return is a reward. For you guys, I'm presuming obviously investing your money, and your freedom or financial freedom is a reward, which will come from that. There's no difference there.
Spot on. That is right. As we discussed before, anything that is increasing in value for us, so whether it's our financial the aspect, or your physical, or your health, or your fitness, right, that is obviously much more valuable. Should not be any different. That is correct. If you had the power to jump back in time, somebody gave you the ability to travel back in time, what would be one thing that you want to change about that day which would affect you today where you are in order to improve? Or do you think that was even, or that's not even worth it, because then you would not have the opportunity to go through the struggles and challenges that you had to achieve what you've become today?
I do believe, do I regret anything I've done? No, because you should not regret anything. In life, there's only lessons, not losses. But if there was one thing I could change, it would be to get a coach earlier, because that's where I really started to drive progression. Is maybe invest in my health a little bit earlier, invest in my fitness a little bit earlier, because that's when progression really started to skyrocket, was when I invested in a coach. And I really understood the concept of how this actually works. Because at the start, I was wasting a lot of time, doing a lot of junk volume, not eating the right foods. I was just guessing. It was a guessing game for me. So for me, the only thing I would do would be to get a coach earlier. But all the mistakes I made, I'm glad I made them, because I used it as a lesson to learn and made sure I never made that mistake again. And if you can learn from other people's mistakes, even better.
That is very, very valuable. Guys, he's absolutely right there. And I could tell from my personal experience as well, that point, people in general tend to delay that aspect of getting a coach or a trainer for whatever reasons. I mean, there could be a gazillion reasons for it, and they continue to do something that they think they know they're doing, and it's probably right, but majority of the times it's not. Many babes just come to the gym, they don't even have a clue what they're going to do. They just look around and they do things what they think they should be doing. So what that does is, you really don't optimally train. You don't, obviously you will probably not recover then, because every day if you come and do the same thing, then that body part would be so much stress, and you would not be training the other body parts that's meant to be trained as well. The coach and the trainer would see what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, and make the plan which is optimized for you, because we are all different people. What works for Jarvis will not work for me. What works for me may not work for him. Dietary requirements are different. Only a coach will figure that out. So yeah, guys, absolutely. That is, so if you are delaying that aspect, if you're being procrastinating about it, get yourself, go to a coach, or at least chat with someone who's knowledgeable. Reach out. If you're around this area, Jarvis also provides his thing, services, as in like training services online as well. Correct me, Jarvis, if that's right. You still do that, right? Online, as
Yeah.
on, yep.
Yeah, fine.
Would you be willing to learn more about Bitcoin, or invest even like something like a coffee or something in it?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I would send you a link, bro, after the show. It's an app called Amber app. It's an app that's been built by Bitcoiners. It's Australian. It's an Australian app. They're built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. It's a very beautiful app with a very easy interface. All you have to do is link your bank account, automate the a recurring purchase, whatever amount suits you. Like, let's say, for example, it's $5 a day. Every day, the app will buy that same amount for you. And I can also tell you how to bring that to your personal wallet, your private cold wallet. And so the app, they will transfer that to your cold wallet as well for you. So it's beautiful, bro. A lot of my family and friends have been using it and they love it. I personally love it too. It's just one of those ones which just does its daily thing, and I don't have to look into that apart from what I do other ways. But this is the most easiest thing to do. It's called dollar cost averaging. DCA is what I say. Dollar cost averaging is, regardless of whatever price is there, whether it's 90K or 100K or 120, doesn't matter. I still buy the equal amount every day and my average comes lower. So,
Well, I'm looking to invest 100%. Yeah, of course.
yeah, bro. Because in alignment with your vision and your brand, and obviously it's not an advice, I'm not a financial advisor, but it's something as a friend, what I would suggest is, if you have a certain part of your finances in an asset that has the potential to go up, and obviously you are building a brand, right? It's not, and it's you're building a company, you're laying the foundation. So over the period of 5 years, 10 years, you need to have, if you have something which is appreciating, you will have much more capital for yourself or your company on the longer run. So yeah, man. So I will shoot that through, bro. No, really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, Jarvis. And also, I will take all the links from you. I will drop his Instagram link in the YouTube bio, and also his company's link. Jarvis, if you want to give a quick thing about the supplements, what all you have on Lifted Nutrition, that would be good.
Yeah. Oh, we have everything. Pre-workout, fat burner, intra-workout, sleep formula, creatine, health form. We've got the whole lot. We've got everything but protein. And if you guys want a discount code, just use Jarvis15. We'll give you 15% off. And yeah, our products, we're formulated. That's our point of difference, is our formulas. We strive for progression. We're not just none other supplement companies come here to make money. No, we specialize in our formulas, which is facilitated to drive actual results. Yeah.
What a point there. We strive for progression. So this is a brand that is built by athletes for athletes, guys, right? I'm not sponsored by him. I'm not saying this. So, but I do mean it because I know him. So if they have tested it, and obviously I've seen a lot of people have vouched for it. So give it. And he's also been kind to give that 15% off for the listeners. So guys, go get that pre-workout and get those supplements. So yep, Jarvis, once again, thank you so much, brother. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was such a wonderful conversation.
That was a pleasure being on the podcast. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. And I just want to say, stack sats, build strength, and own your life, right? And if this episode of Proof and Work, the first of the episode, resonated with you, share it with someone who respects the hard work. Share it with your loved ones. And please feel free to like and subscribe. That means a lot. I can get more athletes and experienced people in the space like Jarvis, and who could give their valuable knowledge to you. So thanks a lot, guys, and see you soon.
Thanks, guys.